because they observe the precepts and we listen to them. Our temple is very close by, we go there every day with the parents. Therefore we know the sutras by heart. Yesterday I started explaining the beginning of this discourse. One word, two words I forgot to explain. Kaya kayanupassya atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasam. Abhijja domanasam, these two words needs little explanation. Abhijja is greed endowed with jealousy. Greed with jealousy is called abhijja. Meaning, we covered the property, the belonging of others. When we desire others' property, that is called abhijja. Why it is called abhijja instead of desire? Because when we see somebody's property, jealousy arises in our mind. Oh, beautiful car. I wish I had that car. That thought arises from jealousy. And along with that jealousy, desire arises. Therefore, this word means, abhijja means, greed with jealousy. We can envy others' belongings. And that is one thing. Though manasa is angry mind, not just anger, angry mind. When we express angry mind, we say dos kieno. Dos kieno, meaning we express our anger. These two words I wanted to explain, I forgot to do that yesterday. And I mentioned that Kayanupassana is mindfulness of the body, divided into 6 groups: mindfulness of breathing, mindfulness of the postures, mindfulness of clear comprehension, mindfulness of 32 parts of the body, mindfulness of elements, and mindfulness of 9 charnel ground meditation. 9 charnel ground meditation. These are the 6. I take up mindfulness of clear comprehension today. I mentioned yesterday there are 4 types of clear comprehensions. They are Sattaka Sampajanya, Gochara Sampajanya, and Sappaya Sampajanya, Asammoha Sampajanya. Sattaka, Sappaya, Gochara, Asammoha. Sattaka means clear comprehension of the goal, the purpose of this meditation. I mentioned yesterday 5 purposes. We have to have a clear comprehension, clear understanding of these 5 purposes. What are the 5 purposes? Sattana Visuddhya, for the purification of beings, for overcoming sorrow and lamentation, overcoming grief and sorrow and lamentation, grief and despair, treading the path of attaining liberation, that means putting ourselves on the path of attaining, that is Noble Eightfold Path, and attaining liberation. Nibbanasa Satyakriya. Realization of Nibbana, not just seeing Nibbana, realizing Nibbana. That means Nibbana makes our life, mind, realized. So, that is the first time, first purpose, what you call first goal, Sattaka Sampajanya, clear comprehension of the purpose. Second is clear comprehension of suitability. That means we must, when we practice meditation, we must ask ourselves, is this practice suitable for attaining that goal? We must ask this question. Is this practice suitable for attaining that goal? We practice mindfulness of breathing, then ask, is it suitable for attaining that goal? Yes. We practice mindfulness of the body, then we ask, is this suitable for attaining that goal? Yes. So every question we ask about the suitability of attaining that goal, answer must be yes. If it is no, you don't practice that. If we simply focus our mind on a color, a shape, dimensions, black hole, quark, quantum, that's not good. That does not bring us to that goal. So we have to use our own body. 5 aggregates. That's all we have. We use them because all our misunderstanding is with regard to the 5 aggregates. And therefore we have to make sure that we use a subject which really directly leads us to the attainment of liberation. That is suitability. You can explain it in detail, but I just give you the outline. Third clear comprehension is domain, the field, gochara. Gochara means where the cow grazed, gochara. The cow grazed. Cow moves to eat grass, gochara. Our field is 4 foundations of mindfulness, or Samma Sankappa Gochara. Right thought is our goal, our domain, or Satipatthana Gochara, mentioned in Sutta Nipata and so on. Satipatthana Gochara. Our Gochara, our domain, our field is 4 foundations of mindfulness themselves. Then, that is our Gochara Sampajanya, clear comprehension of the field, domain. No mistake. 4th clear comprehension is the clear comprehension of non-delusion, no confusion. We don't meditate to float in the air. We don't meditate to read others' minds. We don't meditate to become famous. We don't meditate as a fashion. You know, sometimes some people in some places, they take their cushion and they will all go to meditate in the group. Columbus Heaven. High-class people, I'm going to meditate. Not for that purpose we meditate. There's a confusion. We don't have that kind of confusion. We must keep in mind, we are honest, sincere, direct, clear. We want to do this meditation for our own personal development, improvement, attaining liberation. We have to be 100% honest and sincere. We do it quietly, secretly, not to gain publicity, not to make it as a sort of advertisement for political reasons, economic reasons. No. We meditate only for spiritual reasons, quietly. These are the fourfold clear comprehensions. Let me repeat the clear comprehension once again, if you have not written down, if you have not memorized. First is Sarthaka Sampajanya, clear comprehension of the purpose. Second is suitability, the what do you call? Sappaya Sampajanya, clear comprehension of suitability. Third is clear comprehension of the domain, Gochara Sampajanya. Fourth is clear comprehension of the non-delusion, Asammava Sampajanya. Now with this we proceed in the clear comprehension section. In the clear comprehension we have minor postures, minor activities. Major activities are sitting, standing, walking, lying down. 4 postures. In the minor activities, abhikkante patikkante sampajanakari hoti. Going forward, backward, we become mindful. We have this clear comprehension. We must keep this 4 clear comprehension when we walk forward. When we walk forward, we must keep these 4 clear comprehensions in the mind. When you walk backward, it doesn't mean that you walk backward, but we turn and walk back. This refers to walking path, meditation, chankamana path. When somebody does the chankamana meditation, chankamana path, they prepare a certain area and do walking meditation. When we walk, also we must keep these 4 clear comprehensions in the mind. When you do that, we pay attention to our movements physically, and we pay attention to our mind mentally. We pay attention to the mind as well as our body. When we pay attention to the mind, we must see when we move forward, whether greed arises in our mind, hatred arises in our mind, delusion arises in our mind, jealousy, fear, tension, anxiety, worry arises in our mind, and we must get rid of them then and there and move. There are examples in, very silly examples in commentaries. One silly example was a monk was walking and walked up to a certain point. He was in a forest going somewhere, not walking on the meditation path, Jankmana path, but going somewhere. And then he stopped and returned to a certain place, and then moved. And after that he returned to the same place and moved. So somebody asked him, what are you doing? He said, when I was at such and such a place, I forgot my mindfulness. So he went back to pick up mindfulness from there. Like you drop your cell phone, you go and pick it up. That's a silly example. Whenever we become unmindful, that moment you become mindful, that's all you have to do. It is not something that you pick up, like you pick up some physical object. So when we walk forward, the moment you become unmindful and mind is bombarded with greed, hatred, delusion and so forth, stop it right then and there. That state of mind, not the movement. Some people say be mindful of washing your dishes. When you wash your dishes, be mindful of washing dishes. If washing dishes you do mindfully, then all these dishwashers in restaurants are practicing mindfulness. That is not the way. While washing dishes, greed, hatred, delusion arises, be mindful of that. So Buddha mentioned many minor movements. Walking forward, walking backward, eating, drinking, munching, wearing clothes, answering the call of nature, even when we are in silence. Tunhi bhave, gate, jite, nisinne, sutte, jagnite, bhase, tunhi bhave. In all these places, as well as when we are in silence, we have to be mindful. Therefore, this clear comprehension must always be with us all the time. Clear, this four kind of clear comprehension. Anytime any defilement arises, then and there we must think, is this suitable for this mind to have this defilement, for attaining that goal? It is not suitable. Am I confused with regard to my goal? When I let this defilement dominate my mind, we know that it is not. So we must get rid of it. So this is how we move forward, removing defilements as they arise, as we do with metta meditation. Tittang, charang, nisinova, sayanova, evatansa, vigatamiddho, etan sati. Sitting, standing, walking, lying down, have this mindfulness. Etan sati, this mindfulness. So this encompasses covers a lot of area. This is clear comprehension. Then, next is Patikula Manasikara. That is my favorite. That is Patikula Manasikara. I think you all know Patikula Manasikara. There are 32 parts of the body. In original discourse, there were 31. But later on, another part added, that is the brain. Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Tacho, Mansan, Naharu, Atti, Attiminyam, Vakkam, Hadayan, Yatanam, Kilomakam, Piyakam, Pappasam, Antam, Antagunam, Udariyam, Karisam. How many are there? 19. So, in order to make 32, the later editors edited brain, Mattalunga. So, since there was no place to put Mattalungam brain, they put the brain under Karisa and the feces, Asuchi. And then remaining 12 belong to water elements. First 20 belong to earth element, last 12 belong to water element. Now, I don't have to read the whole thing, you all know them. I think everybody know these 32 by heart. Maybe one or two there may not remember them. You can see in the book. It's very easy to remember. But this meditation has a negative side and positive side. This meditation, if one does this meditation without real clear comprehension, real clear understanding, the person can fall into one of the two extremes. Extreme of lust, extreme of aversion. Extreme of aversion. There was a disciple of Venerable Sariputta. He was full of lust. So Venerable Sariputta asked him to practice mindfulness of loathsomeness of the body. Practice mindfulness of loathsomeness of the body. That is this 32 part of the body. This is called foulness of the body. Before I mention this, I want to define the name, the word patikula. Patikula means going against the current. Anukula means going with the current. You remember Patisotagami and Anusotagami. As I mentioned yesterday, Anu is used to denote, to express something happening along with that, going along with that, going with the grain, going with the current, and so forth. For that we use the word Anu. Pati we use to denote the opposite side, going against. Patikula is going against the current. What is the current? Body is beautiful. Or body is ugly. If it is not beautiful, we can put on all kind of makeup to make it even more beautiful. So, the whole cosmetic industry depends on the making the body even more beautiful. That is one general belief. Body is beautiful. But this very beautiful body, we have hair, head hair. People clean it, wash it, shampoo it, and do all sort of things. Those who have hair. Fortunately, we don't have that. We have all this. You shave it to make it more beautiful. Anyway, when they have hair, they wash it, clean it, shampoo it, and all sort of things. With this clean hair, they drink a cup of tea. And one of these hair falls into that cup. They throw it away. They throw the whole cup away. Cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a cup of milk, a soup or whatever, they throw away. What happened? 1 second before it was beautiful, clean, attractive. Next second it is ugly. It is the shift of our perception. In one moment we perceive it as beautiful, another moment it is perceived as ugly, dirty. That is the norm. This meditation is going against that. Therefore it is called patikula, and translated into all languages including English as foulness. Pilikul in Sinhalese pilikul word is a real pilikul. Real pilikul. If you, while you are eating, if somebody opens our guts, you throw up. Right? While we are eating, something got stuck in our throat and something happened, we throw up. Everybody may throw up. Because it is so ugly. That is the meaning. But this meditation has to be done in a different way. So when the Sariputta's disciple was full of lust, so he gave him this subject to meditate on. This monk went to a forest and sat under a tree and meditated, and his lust increased. It was decreasing, lust increased. So he came back to Venerable Sariputta and said, Venerable, it doesn't work for me. My lust increases. Venerable Sariputta said, no, this is a very good subject. Buddha recommended, go and practice that. Second time he went, second time also increased. Third time he went and third time increased. Sariputta said, okay, it doesn't work, come, let us go. Let us go and see the Buddha. Now remember, these days we have Kammatha chariots. Give instructions on meditation according to their personality, temperaments. Even Venerable Sariputta could not do that. In the Buddha's time, only the Buddha gave subject of meditation to anybody. No any other disciples was able to do that. Anyway, he came. Third time he took him to the Buddha. As soon as Buddha saw this monk, he knew this monk has been used to gold. Because he was a goldsmith before he became a monk, he was a goldsmith. he used to see gold day and night, every day. And therefore the Buddha, instead of giving him this subject, he gave him a lotus flower. Fresh, water dripping, fragrant, beautiful lotus flower. Asking him to take it and stick in the ground near a pond. There was another pond where there were no lotus. So this monk took it and stuck in the ground, focusing on that. He meditated. Buddha asked him, just go and focus your mind on this color, beautiful color. He was focusing mind on that. And some children came and they also picked some lotus from the pond and they put them on the ground. This particular monk was watching the color, beauty, fragrance, the freshness of this lotus. While he was focusing his mind on this lotus in this very scorching sun, hot sun, the lotus slowly faded away. Color disappeared, freshness disappeared, dripping water dried out, and stalk bent and fell on the ground. That instant he understood impermanence. As soon as he understood impermanence, Buddha sent him a message by psychic power. And he said, Kumbhupamam kainamam viditva, nagarupamam chittamidan tapetva, yodheta maram panyayudena jitancharakke anivesanosya. He said, see the body like a clay pot, kumbhupamam. See the mind like a city. Jitanjara Yodetamaram Panyayudena. Using wisdom weapon, overcome Mara. The last line is very beautiful. Jitanjarakke anivesanosya. What you have gained, don't stay there. Don't settle down in what you have gained. You remember this Alagatthupama Sutta? The parable Buddha gave, the raft parable, the boat. Kullupamaham vekya Dhamman deseni nitharanatthayano Gunaratana. Same thing he gave in gist, in summary, in this chansa. Yode tamaram panyayudena jitancha rakke anivesanosya. You use your wisdom weapon to destroy the army of Mara, but after winning, don't stay there. Let it go. Normally when you win in a war, you capture a certain area, you settle a garrison there to protect it, so that enemies will not come and capture it back again. But when you do the fighting with the Mara, and you gain, once you gain it, don't stay there. Let it go. That means Dhamma vivekve pahatappa bhageva adhamma. Because even the Dhamma you should give up, let alone adhamma. So that is the kind of attitude we have to adopt when we practice Patikula Manasikara. I'll explain it in more detail. I don't know how much time I have. when I explain the other part. This is one part of one misunderstanding. Increasing lust by practicing particular manasikara. Other part is hating the body. Hating the body. If any of you keep thinking my head is ugly, hair is ugly, nail is ugly, skin is ugly, guts is ugly, accident is ugly, do you feel comfortable? No. You hate the body. So one day, you know the background of Anapanasati Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya? Anapanasati Sutta is the result of that. Before Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha gave this discourse of the impurities of the body. He praised meditation on impurities of the body. He gave instructions on meditation and the benefit of practicing meditation of the ugly impurities of the body, and encouraged monks to practice mindfulness of impurities of the body. And after giving instructions, Buddha has been giving teaching every day, and he must have been very tired, physically. He said, because I want to have a 2 weeks retreat. 2 weeks retreat. Nobody should come to see me except the one who brings my food. I want to go to a forest, quiet place, Appasaddha, Appatigota, Vijanavaka, Manusarasaya, Padisallana Sahupa, these qualities. With these qualities, I have to go to a forest. He went there. During his absence, these monks began to practice mindfulness of loathsomeness of the body. When they were practicing loathsomeness of the body meditation, they began to feel this body is so ugly. They began to feel like a beautiful woman having a dead body around her neck. So they were so disgusted with the body. So this story is repeated in Vinaya Pitaka. This is Samyutta Nikaya version. Samyutta Nikaya says, these monks began to feel the body is ugly, dirty and rotten, dead body all around their neck. And then one story says, monk found another false Samanera called Migalandika, and asked him to do them a favor. One monk asked him to do a favor. What is the favor? Please take my razor and cut my throat. Migalandika first hesitated, but later on he thought this monk persuaded him, cut my throat and take my robes and alms bowl and sell it. You can make little money. Good business. So this Samanera agreed, cut his throat, and then another monk heard of that. He also felt his body is ugly, dirty, repulsive and so forth. He asked him to cut his throat. And some places, some monks cut each other's throats. So they began to commit suicide, commit homicide, cut their own throat and cut others' throat and kill. Cutting one's own throat and dying is called Suicide, cutting others' throat and killing them is called homicide. They do that. One day 10 months, 20 months, 30 months, up to 60 months, they kill. Then after 2 weeks, Buddha returned. And Ananda said, what happened to the monks? Ananda said, this is what happened. Oh my goodness. Ask them to come for a meeting. They came for a meeting, and then Buddha straightaway taught mindfulness of breathing meditation, Anapanasati Sutta. Now this is one other extreme. One extreme is lust increased, other extreme is they became so depressed and were so angry and upset and committed suicide. Practicing this meditation. Then why did Buddha introduce this meditation? Answer is in Indriya Bhavana Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, last discourse, 152. I think he has written a thesis on that topic. There's a very, very wonderful answer to this question. In that discourse, I want to summarize it instead of explaining the whole thing. When you see an object, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, immediately you have to, in order to get rid of your pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling, immediately you get rid of that image that arises in your mind through the eye. In order to do that, you close your eyes, just like a person closes his eyes and open. As soon as this image arises, in order to return to equanimity, you immediately shun the object. Immediately. Just like somebody closes the open eye. That means at the speed of blinking your eyes. Let it go and return to equanimity. When you hear a sound, let it go just as quickly as you snap your finger. When you snap your finger, you hear the sound. As soon as you finish it, sound disappears. At that speed, you let it go, the sound that you heard, whether it is pleasant, unpleasant or neutral, and remain equanimous. Have a smell, just like you drop of water into a lotus leaf that rolls down very quickly and disappears. Similarly, you let it go, these pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feelings, and return to equanimity. Taste, just like you take a little spittle to the tongue and you throw it like this, you let it go very quickly and return to equanimity. Then the touch, just like somebody stretches his hand and bend very quickly, let it go and return to equanimity. The mind, it is just like someone put a frying pan on the fire and let it be heated all day long, and then you take few drops of water and slowly drop water, one drop, it very quickly evaporate, vaporize. Similarly, if you remain mindful all the time, any defilement arises in the mind, it vanishes. Mind returns to equanimity. That is one level. Another level is when you see an object, if it is repulsive, you decide to be have unrepulsive attitude. When it is unrepulsive, you develop the mind to make it repulsive. When it is repulsive, repulsive and unrepulsive, you make it both unrepulsive. If it is repulsive, unrepulsive, if you like to make it unrepulsive, you make it unrepulsive. Eventually you make everything equanimous. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch and so on. 32 parts of the body is not visible, only 5 parts are visible. First 5 parts are visible, other parts are not visible, but we know that there are certain things in the body. We have to meditate on them to develop our equanimity and understand this is anicca, dukkha, viparinama dhamma, kaya dhamma, vaya dhamma, viraga dhamma, nirodha dhamma, sankata, paticca samuppanna, ne dhammam, ne sohamasmi, ne me soatta. This is impermanent, it is altering, this ceases, conditionally made, due to depending condition, it is conditioned, dependently arisen, parisambhana, netamama, this is not mine, this is not I am, this is not myself. In this way we have to meditate, we have to practice this meditation, mindfulness of the loathsomeness of the body, or 32 parts, we have to meditate in this way. This is going against the current. This is going against the current. This is not ordinary way. This is not the way you normally treat or look at the body. And that is why this is called Patikula Manasikara. I think, friends, this much I want to say, much more than this. One more thing I must say. At the end of every section, it says, iti ajjattan va kaya kayana paseverati, bahiddha va kaya kayana paseverati, ajjatta bahiddha va kaya kayana paseverati. Thus, one should be mindful internally, be mindful externally, be mindful internally and externally. That means we must first master ourselves. We must see this exactly as they are by ourselves. And then we think of all others are like that. Nobody is different from me. Everyone is exactly like me. That is by them. And then I think me and them, they and me are one. This is another very wonderful way of practicing equanimity. This is very wonderful way of practicing mindfulness of what you call metta, practicing metta. Attanam upamam kattva nahanayena ghataye. Attanam upamam kattva nahanayena ghataye. When I know exactly that I don't like to be hurt, I don't like to be injured, I don't like to be killed, others also don't like to be hurt, don't like to be injured, don't like to be killed. So what is the difference? There's no difference. Sabbādisa anupagamma cetasa nevadhiga petara mattano kvati tasma piyoputu atta paresa yasma piyoputu atta paresa tasma nahitse paranatagama. Buddha said, I surveyed the whole universe with my supernatural mind to see whether anybody likes somebody better than oneself. I have not seen any. Everybody loves oneself better than the others. And Buddha says, think that way of everybody else. That is ajjattam bahittam. And the last thing is, what you call samudaya dhammanupassīva kāsmeti. Why dhammanupassīva? Samudaya why dhammanupassīva? What does it mean? Samudaya dhammanupassī, why dhammanupassī, samudaya why dhammanupassī. What is the purpose of repeating the same thing twice? You become mindful of rising, become mindful of falling, and then become mindful of rising and falling. What does it mean? It simply means it is the way to explain the characteristic of sankhara. Sankhara, uppado paññāyati, vayo paññāyati, thitasa aññatattam paññāyati. Rising is visible, passing is visible. What is called present is altering is visible. Thitasa aññatattam. What is present, what we call present, is not something static, not something fixed. Even the present is moving, altering. That is the nature of sankhara. And that is what we see when we practice mindfulness of the body, feeling, mind objects. For this reason, samudaya dhammanupassīva, why dhammanupassīva, samudaya why dhammanupassīva is used. Only these terms I can explain in this talk. Beyond that I cannot go. This discourse is very profound discourse. So many hidden meanings are there. And our time is short. And I'm so thankful to all of you. Actually, this is the first time we have been having this monastic retreat for many years. This is the first time we have so many monks. It is thanks to Bhante Sadhajiva. He coordinated it, contacted it, wrote to you all, telephoned you all, and made all these arrangements, and invited Bhante Dhamma Guru also to come and help. And therefore, this in a way is a very successful retreat, and your presence gave me energy. Normally I don't have this much energy. You are so young, beautiful, healthy, enthusiastic, serious in learning Dhamma, coming thousands of miles from thousands of miles away, California, what you call Florida, Atlanta, anybody, New York, where else? Alabama.
Arizona.
This is Alabama. Arizona. For so many places. Therefore, our closest Winchester, Maryland, and 2 nuns, and so forth. Alexandria? Yes, Alexandria. So, we are very, this very gratifying retreat. I'm so glad that you came and spend this whole week. I believe you study many sutras and spend many hours learning Dhamma, practicing meditation, and I didn't see many of you sitting and just, chatting away. Everybody was very seriously committed to this practice, and thank you very much for coming and encouraging us to do it. Come next year again.
Yeah.
And thank you.